5 British men are among a group of 10 people arrested by Cambodian police for allegedly producing pornographic pictures. Police released photos that they claim are to blame, but one of the groups says that none of the people in the photos are among those arrested. If convicted, they could face up to a year in jail. Well, let's discuss more with Lloyd Figgins, a travel risk expert and author of Looking for Lemons, a travel survival guide. It appears that these people, this group of travellers, were at a party and were dancing, and some of the posers were considered lewd by the Cambodian authorities. Should they have been aware of this?
I think most certainly they should have had an awareness as to what is acceptable behaviour in Cambodia. And let's not forget that Cambodia is a predominantly Buddhist country. And within that, they are quite a refined society. And the sort of acts that we've seen in these images, whether or not they are the correct images, is not really in keeping with the culture of a place like Cambodia. So I think they should have been a lot more aware and sensitive to the culture that they were actually travelling to and actually visiting.
But if they were at a party inside a private villa, does that still hold, really?
Yeah, I think the problem is what we've got here is it's against the law in Cambodia to make images that might be construed as pornographic, whether or not that is still images or whether or not that's video. So even if they're doing it within a private villa, they're still going to fall foul of the law. And this has been a problem in Cambodia, where the authorities have been trying to crack down on this as part of their sex trafficking crimes that they're trying to get a hold of as well. So I think it's part of a bigger picture that these people unfortunately have fallen foul of.
How much should you find out about the laws of a country you're travelling to before you go?
Well, obviously, the more the better, and that's where the Foreign and Common Office advice is actually got to be a first stop for when you actually go to these places. On the Foreign Office advice website, you can find out all about cultural considerations, security considerations, and so on. And this really needs to be a first stop. But, you know, a lot of the guidebooks also have, pages on this about what you should do, what is acceptable behaviour and what is not acceptable behaviour. So research before you go has got to be something that you're really taking seriously.
I mean, do you think we're all becoming a little bit more blasé about travelling these days? Remember, back in the midst of time when I went backpacking, you got your guidebook and you pored over it for weeks before you went away to find out about the countries you were going to. These days, people are much more likely just to suddenly see an offer and hop on a plane, aren't they?
Yeah, and travelling has become a lot easier and therefore less of a requirement to do the research. And a lot of that research is now done online. People do it, almost quite cursory. As you said, you probably got your Lonely Planet out or something similar and were reading it whilst you're actually travelling. But also talking to other travellers and seeing what experiences they've had that, might be coming from an area that you're going to is always a good source of information. But falling foul of something like this is never going to be a good position to be in, particularly when you find yourself incarcerated, because the FCO are then limited what they can actually do. So prevention is much better than cure.
What should you do? What would your advice be if you were to be arrested in a foreign country for doing something? What is the best course of action?
Well, first of all, you do need to get hold of somebody from your consulate or embassy and notify them that you have been arrested. Now, there's certain things that the FCO can do and there's certain things that they can't do if you are arrested. They can't pay for your legal fees, but they can point you in the direction of English-speaking lawyers who might be able to help you. They can notify your family so that they can put something in place. But they're not going to be able to pay for things and they're certainly not going to be able to get you out of jail.
Yeah. Lloyd Figgins, good to talk to you. Thanks very much.
My pleasure.